Hey, what's up, Blazer fans? Welcome to We Have a Take the What podcast. I am Tara Bowen Biggs, joined as always by Rose Harding. Hello, Rose.
Hi, Tara. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. I was telling you right before we got on that we got a new TV, which is very exciting. It's probably been at least 10 years since I got a new TV. So I'm just like, oh, the modern world. It's so exciting, but I had to turn it off because it was eating all my Wi-Fi. So hopefully we won't have any more Wi-Fi issues as we record the podcast. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm great. It's a 3-day weekend. I'll say the only thing that would make it better is if there was like real NBA basketball this weekend. But it's not. It's All-Star weekend, but it's a 3-day weekend, so I'll take the good and the bad. Um, and I will say, like, the Olympics have been a joy. So I've been living my best life watching a ton of curling. We had a curling controversy this week, which, like, is just my favorite is when there's a controversy in a sport that's supposed to be a gentleman's sport
Yeah.
because that's when you see the real mess.
Yeah. When someone like is a dentist and a curler as opposed to someone whose whole
Right.
life is just curling. I don't know. I've watched enough curling, I'll just say. I've
What have you been watching the Olympics?
Yeah, a lot of curling because it's a lot of curling.
Mm,
And I accidentally was watching like a lot of curling because I thought I was on the like bounce around channel, but I was on the we're just going to show all curling all the time channel. And I didn't realize it for a really long time. And I was like, wow, they are really sticking with this game. This must be like the finals or whatever. Like, no, round robin. But I use that opportunity to learn. I think I kind of basically understand the scoring rules, which I previously had not figured out. So I watched that, but I love watching my favorite things to watch are like the cross country skiing and snowboarding. I think snowboarding, that is something that Shaden Sharp could do. Don't do it, Shaden. But because of the beauty of the sport, I think it's just a half pipe is so gorgeous. It's
yeah.
absolutely beautiful. So I really enjoy watching that. How about you? What do you like to watch?
Well, I like to watch curling. I think the thing that I like about curling is that it's like both like a sport and a game. And so like I
Mm.
like the gamesmanship of curling of curling because it's a little bit like chess, right? You're trying to like make a play that on the board that you currently have, but also set up like future moves.
Hmm.
So I enjoy that aspect of it. But I'll say love snowboarding. I watch figure skating. Oh, can I just say like on Friday was like the men's free skate and it felt like Friday the 13th came for the men's free skate because all the guys at the top really had a tough go of it. And it was like I remember like there was like the kid from Kazakhstan, like people when Tara and Johnny were talking about him, they were like, "Oh, he's just setting himself up for the next Olympics. Like, he's doing so great and he's setting himself for the next Olympics." And then right after him, everyone started falling on their butt and I was like, "Oh my God, he might medal." And you know what? He did. He won gold because everybody after him, like, they fell apart for whatever reason. And I was so devastated because, like, the American, I think, who was like the favorite, like, he hadn't lost in like, I don't know, 2.5 years or something.
Hmm.
And then it just did not go his way. And I
Hmm.
felt so bad for him because it's like such a high pressure thing to not do your best at the Olympics because then you gotta like think about it for 4 years.
Yeah, it takes a while to get a chance to redeem it for a better lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was watching curling during that whole thing because I was thought they would slip away and go to But no, I was also because I am watching The Traders and right now Tara Lipinski and Johnny Weir are on The Traders. And so I was actually spent a lot of time going down the Wikipedia rabbit hole about Johnny Weir and his life and like I thought he had won Olympic medals, but I don't believe he actually ever won Olympic medals. He won three national championships, I think, but never in the Olympics. And just like I don't know. He has a large team, I think, monitoring his Wikipedia page because it is very detailed and it goes into a lot of detail. But it was very interesting. But yeah, it surprised me to find like, oh, I just assumed that he was like a gold medalist because I know him, I remember him, I remember the Swan, um, when he
Yes.
did the Swan, and he had that outfit that was like sparkly, more sparkly than usual. And yeah, so anyway, because of the traders relationship, I did a lot of Johnny Weir surfing, I guess.
Johnny Weir is one of the few skaters out there that I think has had a better like kind of post-sport career for
Hmm.
like lack of a better term. Because you're like he was like that was not when men like especially American men's figure skating was like very good.
Hmm.
He was like our top skater that went to the Olympics, I think once or twice. But like, him going, like, I don't think anybody expected him really to medal.
Uh-huh.
Um, like, but whereas he's like paired with Tara Lipinski, who was like the youngest gold medal winner like ever, and she was like 13 or something when she won hers. But also I don't think she went back.
Hmm.
So they're really like weird little interesting like moments in time in figure skating. But yeah, I think a lot of people kind of assume that Johnny won. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even think he won a sing. I don't think he won a medal of any color,
Hmm.
in the Olympics.
No,
But
I according to Wikipedia, he did not. According to the little table on the side.
he's very memorable for other reasons because he's been
Yes.
very flashy, like a character,
Yeah.
and has built an interesting post skating career.
Yeah, he was pretty groundbreaking in just like insisting on being himself, and when people were like, maybe you should, tamp it down a little bit. And he's like, no, this is who I am. And I was like, way to go, Johnny Weir. So yeah, I love, he's also really good at talking about it, about skating and pointing, pointing out what's going on. Went during one of my curling journeys. Um, one of the commentators was explaining something very complicated, and the other one you could tell was just like, okay, sure, Jan. Just like, yeah, whatever.
That's so funny.
But we're so used to just excellent commentary for the games that we watch for the Trailblazers. We did have a Kevin Calabro week off this week where we had Jason. Jason, is that his name? Who
Yeah,
fills
Jason
in for me?
Benetti.
Yeah. And I thought it sounded fine. You know me, I will always prefer to listen to the radio because it's just my favorite way. But I thought they did fine. And yeah, we're spoiled because I think we really do have excellent commentary. And even Tom Haverstroh, I wonder if other
Mhm.
teams have started to do the in-game analytics guy. Because remember the like when it was Corey Jez?
Yeah,
He
Corey
was the first
Jez.
one.
Yeah, that's right. And he only did it the one season.
Then he went back
But
to his love of golf.
yeah, he was a golf guy, and like the one thing about Tom, like Tom's a basketball guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind
It's
of fun having a guy who's like such a basketball guy as Tom Haverstroh, and to like have a little bit of his like cachet, that he's got just like in his place with so many of the you know the journalists who are like doing interesting work when the landscape right now is like not necessarily that interesting, or the landscape is interesting but not all the reporting on it is interesting. But there are a few people like Pablo Torre and like other like the Basketball Illuminati podcast. They are doing like some really cool things, and so it's fun to have somebody who's so involved in that associated with the team and actually really keeping eyes on the team, because you know little Portland Trailblazers will sneak into Basketball Illuminati, and that would not have happened if Tom Haberstroh wasn't covering the team as closely as he is.
Yeah, we are really lucky to have Tom, I think. And I think it adds us like a certain it adds a certain something to our broadcasts. I've seen other like fan bases talk about our like local broadcast, I think because of like League Pass or whatever, because they get you get a glimpse at everyone else's kind of local uh broadcast. But like like even on just our graphics where you show like who comes into the game and who leaves the game. Like we have a really great like visual scheme for our games, and we have like a nice little broadcast crew that people
Mhm.
like. Um I mean, if you think about it, we're spoiled, like not just with Lamar and Kevin and Tom, but like Brooke and Michael and like these, we have a ton of great talent in
Mhm.
Portland. And I sometimes I like, I'm sorry, like I see the other broadcast and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, thank you, please.
Yeah. I enjoy Sacramento. I think they do good.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. Do they still so they have like more rotation got people than because they have what's his face? Um God, why can't I think of his name?
I like Morgan Regan, who I think does the I think I don't know if she just does radio anymore. I don't know. I've followed her for a long time, but I'm not as up on it before. But she used to do radio, and then she used to do I think TV for their G League team. And I wonder if
Mm.
I don't know if she's doing the NBA team on air or on TV yet. But I enjoy the uh the banter between her and her partner, whose name I can't remember right now. But speaking of the Blazers, the teams that they played the last week, they played the 76ers, the Wolves, and the Jazz. Nice win, I thought, against the 76ers, even if they didn't have Embiid. It was still like they're still a good team. And Timberwolves, yeah, that was a beating. But I also
Yeah.
think that the Timberwolves were caught off guard on game one of the season, and they were
Hmm.
like not gonna like they're still a good team, and they were not gonna uh, lay down for the Blazers. They were gonna fight and show them who's the farther along.
Yeah, that it did feel like that. Although I will say some of the things that I see with Minnesota, I'm like, they still get like lazy at points in the game, I think. Like there's parts of that game where I'm like, you should be putting us away right now. And like they were just, casually jacking threes early in the shot clock instead of like running something to like get a better look. And so like I would say like it wasn't a pretty game, but I also felt like it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, yeah. And then that third game was the one against the Jazz, a needed win, and they did. And it just warms my heart when they win the games they should. Because it's been so long since we could be like, first of all, there is a game that they should win. And
Hmm.
then that they're able to like finish it is nice.
Yeah, especially when like you got the feeling that some of these guys had like the senioritis or whatever you want to call it right before the All-Star game. Like some of these guys were ready to just take a break.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, now that we are at the All-Star break, I wanted to give you an update on where the Blazers are with dunks.
yeah.
It's good news. The Blazers continue to be well in the top 10 in terms of overall dunks and dunks per game. They're actually seventh in dunks per game at 5.69. I think the last time we talked, they might have been at like 5.4. So they're creeping up there a little bit. Remember all those years where like maybe there was a game with no dunks, or maybe they averaged like two, and that would mean one
Yeah.
game they'd have four, another one they'd have zero. Oh, it's just so wonderful to be in that situation. So they have 319 total dunks right now. I did look to see where they were in terms of dunks by opponents, and they allow a lot. They're number 10 in terms of allowing dunks against them. So they're still better. So they are dunking 319 times total, and they have allowed 283. So most important to me is that they are dunking more than they are allowing. It would be nice to see a little separation. Donovan is coming into his own, and I think it will get better in time. So that was nice. In terms of individual dunkers, this is what I'm super excited about. They have Donovan, who is number 19. He is in the top 20 of prolific dunkers in the league. Isn't that wonderful? He's 19.
That's so great.
Yeah, he's tied with Zubats with 76. And then right behind him, Rob Williams, who we know has played fewer games, he is at number 22. So we have two players in the top 25 of total dunks for this season. I don't know who else is keeping track of these stats for their teams, but I'm very proud of our team. And then Shaden is number 36 in terms of volume total dunks. He has 54 total dunks. So I'm just very proud that we've got multiple Blazers in the top 25. and three of them in the
That
top 40, let's say.
that's amazing. And I'll just say, like, with Donovan, sometimes I'm screaming in my own house to nobody but me, just dunk it. So I know that he can even increase
Yeah,
those numbers. Like he
he could
could
have
be up
more.
way up there. There's definitely opportunities on the table for him, is all I'm saying. Like Donovan, as you climb this season, just remember there's still room to grow here. I want him to be like a dunking monster though, because he's 7'3". It's right
Yeah.
there.
Well, so Rudy Gobert is leading the league, and he's got 136, and compared to Donovan, 76. So that's like 50 to me, or was
It's
that
a lot.
60?
It's a lot.
Yeah, so that's a lot. That's a lot to make up, but Donovan is young, and I believe in him. And Rudy's playing on a better team that is a little bit better at setting him up. But I think Donovan could get there, or at least close.
Dare to dream to be in the top. I guess he's in the top 10, but like maybe top, I don't know what, seven? He could be
He no,
there.
he's in the top 20. He's number 19.
Okay, so let's see. Let's see if we can get Donovan into the top 10.
Yeah. Yep. That would be a fantastic goal. A stretch, but
Amazing.
worth striving for.
Amazing. Did you happen to catch Donovan in the Rising Stars game?
I will admit that I have not watched a single frame of any All-Star event except as a highlight. And obviously that was the Damian Lillard one, which we will talk about it in a minute. So tell me, I did notice that both Donovan and Hansen looked like they were active and like warm bench warmers in the game. So how did it go?
So it's weird. I don't know if this is because like the game like the All-Star game kind of corresponds with the Olympics, but like everything's happening so early. Um like the Rising Stars game was early. Everything's early. It all starts at like 2 p.m. or whatever. And I was like, I know that like we try to like even on the West Coast like cater to the East Coast crowd. They're like, oh, it's at 5 o'clock East Coast time. I'm like, yeah, but that's 2 p.m. on the West Coast. Um, so like the Rising Star stuff, I think the Rising Star stuff was actually later, but like the 3-point contest yesterday was at 2.
Hmm.
And I know a lot of Blazers fans missed it because they were like, what the heck is it doing on TV at 2 p.m.? I don't know the reason for that. I do know though that like the crowd at the All-Star game is tiny. They turn the lights down real low, but every time you like get like a zoomed in shot where you can actually see like what's going on and like with where they don't have the lights on over like the audience, it's like I don't know. There's like maybe like 3,000 people there.
Oh my God.
It's empty.
Wow. Sad.
I know, and I was like, well, maybe it was on the first day. I was like, maybe it's just for Rising Stars, but during the 3-point contest, it was still really empty, and I was like, people usually like to show up for this. I mean, the dunk contest, man, whatever, but like, people like to show up for the 3-point contest.
Hmm.
Um, okay,
Oh,
so all that said, Rising Stars game, the first like they did a thing where they had like 4 teams, 2 teams played each other, and then the winners of those 2 games played each other for like the I don't know, championship. What do you call it? Whatever. Bragging rights.
yeah.
Um, Donovan was on Team Mellow, for like the I think they drafted. I think that they drafted the guys, or I don't know when they did this draft, but they drafted the guys onto 3 different teams, and then like all of the G League guys were on one team.
Okay.
So Hansen was on team Austin Rivers, who coached the G League team.
Okay.
Coached, whatever. Um, Donovan was on Team Mello, and then the other 2 teams were Team Vince Carter and Team Tracy McGrady. Um, so Mello and Team Austin played each other for the first game, and so it was Donovan versus Hansen. And I was say, like, I was so proud of our boys. Donovan and Hansen were both making threes. Donovan for a while, like he made like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 of them, but across the 2 games that he played. Because spoiler alert, Team Mello beat Team Austin in that game. But there was one highlight that I hope that you go back and look at where Hansen drives on Donovan
Oh,
and
how'd that
and
go?
he and like puts up He put up a beautiful finger roll right at the hoop. He got Donovan to, he like I think he ball faked and then he I think what happened if I remember correctly, I think he ball faked. Donovan didn't bite. He ball faked again and then he drove. And because Hansen's huge, it was like 1.5 beautiful long strides to the
Yeah.
hoop and a finger roll. But you could tell Hansen was enjoying himself because right after they like panned to his face and he had like a big smile on his face. And he was also kind of like jokingly like um pandering to the ref and be like, oh, it's a foul. Um, they look great.
I like to hear that. I love that it sounds like Hansen's energy was just like pure enjoyment, which is very important for me because as not a fan of All-Star and kind of an All-Star hater, if I might say actually the truth, I love to hear about when somebody clearly is just enjoying the moment. And it's funny because Donovan and Hansen probably go up against each other in practice. I wonder if there were any other players out there who actually like are on the same team who went up against each other in practice because I bet it was actually pretty fun, extra fun to watch them because they are used to playing against each other. So it might have been even a little bit better than guys who are just like, we're here for fun. That they're like, oh, I got to get you because I know what you're going to do. That's maybe they take it a little more seriously and not seriously necessarily, but like make it more fun for the viewers.
I do think the Rising Stars took it like a little more seriously. Like they weren't playing like super like lockdown defense or anything like
Yeah.
that, but there was some interesting stuff that was happening. So like Donovan was on the same team as Stefan Castle, who they were
Mm.
college teammates, which was fun. The final shot of the like championship game or whatever was Dylan Harper versus Ron Harper. Um and so no, is that right? I think that's what it was. It was Dylan Harper versus Ron Harper, and one of them missed a shot. The other one brought it down and then hit the like game winner right in their brother's face.
Oh, wow. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. So they were trying to like kind of play up some of those, I think those relationships. They had like Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter play each other in like the first round so they could get the like cousin matchup.
Uh-huh.
And they like some of these guys got to play with their old college teammates, and also they're also like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, because they're like young.
Yeah.
Um, that like it felt more like earnest basketball than you
Mhm.
sometimes see at All-Star Weekend, which was nice. I'll say the only thing that I find very controversial about the end. Um, okay, so I was wrong. Now that I'm saying this out loud, Ron Harper and Dylan Harper, that happened in one of like the semifinal games, not the final game.
Okay.
The final game, instead of playing, they're not playing for like on for a certain amount of time. They're playing for a certain score.
Oh, they did the Elam ending again.
Yes. Um, this is like the Rising Stars game where there's like almost no fouls. They called a foul, a shooting foul on Donovan on a clean block.
How
So
dare they?
BJ Edgecombe hit two free throws to win the Rising Stars game?
Did
I
anybody find out what the betting situation was for that
I
team
don't
winning?
know. I don't know, but I was about to go,
Allegedly.
find the manager on this one because it ending on a free throw after what was really fun basketball up to that point, I was I was incensed. And on the replay they showed it. I'm like, Donovan, that is ball, my friend.
Mm.
To like this is
Justice for Donovan.
justice for Donovan. And this is an exhibition game where, like, like they don't like to call fouls. Like they only call the most egregious stuff. Somebody called a foul. They blew their whistle at the very end of this. And I was like, you must not have known the score when you blew that whistle, because that's crazy talk.
Or maybe like he had dinner reservations at 5:30 that he needed to get to. And he's like, we need to end this. And if I blow the whistle right now and they make both those free throws, this game is over.
Well, somebody needs to tell that referee that you don't need dinner reservations at 5:30 because that's the dinner time for children.
Maybe that's why they, so that that's why they do everything so early, so more people have time to go out later.
Anyway, justice for Donovan.
Yes.
Donovan got a clean block, and for the Rising Stars game to end on a bad foul call was like, meh, nope,
Yeah.
not for me.
Ew, gross. I also hear that in either pregame or postgame, he had some comments about golden retrievers, which I imagine your ears picked up at.
Yes. Someone in me, I don't know who it was, but someone asked him when he was available to the media about like how they were considering getting a dog and what are the pros and cons of being a golden dad.
Are
Um,
there cons? I mean,
he said
really?
he said that like it's a pro that his dog has a lot of energy, but it's also a con that his dog has a lot of energy,
Hmm.
which I don't know. I'll say as somebody who now has a senior golden retriever and a puppy golden retriever, I will say that I think that that has more to do with them being a puppy than it has to do with their breed. I think
Hmm.
most puppies have a lot of energy because they're like little
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. I couldn't have even, I don't even know what I would come up with if somebody said, what's a con to having a golden retriever? I don't know. They're too cute.
I will say for me, the con is that they shed a ton. They have a lot of
Oh.
fur. They shed a ton. I've got two of them now,
Mhm.
and I'm allergic to dogs.
Well, that's
So,
on you
yes,
that you
that's
went
right.
and got two dogs.
Well, I became allergic to dogs.
Oh,
I
no
wasn't allergic to
kidding.
dogs when I was younger. Yeah, actually, it was after I had a baby.
Oh, I'm
Um,
so sorry. That was so
it's
mean of me
okay.
to say.
It's okay.
I'm
So
sorry.
I had my first golden retriever before I was allergic and then I became allergic because like I guess what happens sometimes when you're pregnant your hormones change and so can your allergies. So I wasn't allergic up until
Yes.
like 9 years ago or whatever.
And I will
Uh
clarify that I do not want to shame anybody for having allergies. That was so awful of me to say.
it's okay. It's like, I mean, I did get a second
Please
one.
forgive me, everybody.
I did choose to get a second golden retriever because I like them so much and I'm allergic to them, but you know what? That's okay. They're super cute and everybody loves golden retrievers.
Okay, so but the big news about All-Star Weekend was Damian.
Yeah, it was.
I think what you said, he repaired a hole in the universe by
Yeah,
winning.
like I mean, so I will say, like, I deep in my heart, I believe that when Dame what they announced Dame in the All-Star or for the 3-point contest for All-Star weekend, I was like, people are gonna like think he's just there ceremonially. I'm like, but like Damian Lillard, he's got nothing on his calendar. All he can do is shooting drills. Like he can't play games. He's been dying to put that Blazer uniform on and like do something for the city since coming back. I'm like, I don't think people were realizing that like he was gonna come to win. And he did.
I love his corny, earnest, just wear it on his sleeve love of like showing up for people. It's like he's so pure in all of that. Like when you compare it to everybody else in the, I'm sure there's lots of wonderful, we know there's lots of wonderful people in the NBA, but the way Damian does it so loud and proud is just, oh, it just makes it just warms my heart to see somebody like that. And you know that he was going to take that so seriously, and he know that he wanted to win it for the team, and he wanted to wear that Portland jersey, and I loved it. And I saw one clip of him talking to Deni in the locker room before it or after it, I can't remember. And Deni was like, doing the 3-point contest, and Damian was like, "Yeah, I got to put in some labor." And I could see that like he just meant it. So like I've just been sitting on the bench all year. That's all I can do is sit on the bench. I got to do something. And it was just so fun, and it was just so like, that's our guy. That's our guy.
Yeah, and he did it like the last time he did it, he won in a Bucks uniform.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he had, I mean, the last time he was there and he won, it was in the Bucks uniform. And I'm not gonna say like I think that Damian Lillard is a professional. I'm sure he showed a ton of love to Milwaukee the way that he showed love here, but like that wasn't his home.
Hmm.
And for Damian Lillard, like as we know, as we've like learned all about his like all of his past lives as a basketball player, like home is home, and that's who he plays for. So I like to think that he really wanted to do something for the city and the fans, in that with Portland on his chest.
Hmm.
Um, and you could tell, I was so funny because when Queen Latifah like gave him like I think the trophy or whatever, like you know when Dame does the thing where he's like trying to be cool, but you can tell he's really happy. So he's like he's cracking to smile a little bit,
But
but
he's
he's
got to
also
be
trying to
cool.
like yeah, but he's trying to keep it cool and like give like a cool look, but you can see he's really happy on the inside. I was like, "Oh, I remember this. I haven't seen this for so long." He's
Yeah,
just
I just love it. And he's also he's such a storyteller. Like he never does, I don't think watch all the years I've watched him, everything that he's done or accomplished has been in the larger context of the story that he is living out and showing us. Like going, my classic one is starting the season, making that video, that summertime video where he had the guys with the pool noodles hitting him and wearing the cape and the badminton, whatever it was that they were doing. It was like this funny jokes on you guys who like show all of your summer like workout videos. I'm making a funny one or da, da, da. But like that set the tone because that's the season that he started taking those extra long threes. So he actually really was working on something. And for that to be the shot that he did over Paul George to get them, into the next round, it was like such a great story. Like you could not script a story better than that, but I feel like everything in his head, he's scripting everything. And for him to take on this, little 3-point competition is just part of his like comeback story that he is creating. And the fact that he like has no doubt in himself, and we as his fans have no doubt that he would just walk in there and win it. It's just part of the story that I just love following of Damian Lillard.
yeah, I completely agree. And like so he's like as you said, like he's a little corny about it, but like he's our corny.
Yes. Yes, you can't be mad at it if it's somebody that you admire.
Did you see that there was he interacted with Giannis after he won and like he was talking to Giannis and he made one funny comment that was like kind of devilish where he asked Giannis if he put a bet on him.
I loved that so much. And I hope Damien doesn't end up like announcing a partnership next month because that would crush me.
Yeah, seriously. And then the other thing though that he commented on though was like, Giannis made some comment to him about how like, oh, do you know that there's like two other like three-time three-point champion winners? And he's like, yeah, I know. And he like named them off, and it was like Larry Bird and I forget who else it was. Um, and he's like, so I guess I got to come back and do four next year. And I was like, I feel like that's like a joke, but I'm like, but Damien will probably do it. Like I can
Yeah.
imagine Damien doing it. And they also revealed, actually, I didn't know that they would do this, but they revealed during the three-point competition that he replaced Steph.
Oh, in the
I
three
don't know
point
if,
competition?
yeah, I don't know. They don't always reveal who like they had plans to put into those things, but like Steph was supposed to be there and then Steph got hurt and he pulled out. He's
Hmm.
not I don't think he's playing in the All-Star game either. So, and when they were like talking to him about it, they're like, "Oh, would you really do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, if I can." And so that's how he ended up is he replaced Steph and then Reggie was like, "Oh, well, we got to get Dame and Steph back here next year."
Yeah, yeah. No, Damon's gonna like is gonna like rack up all those accolades that like, bubble MVP.
Yeah.
That like, 3-time or 4-time, 3-point winner and like he'll be happy with his accomplishment. And that's why he can like I think he means it like when he says like he could retire and Portland never won a championship, but like but it was, what I mean? I can't remember how he said it before he left, but he was talking about um basically saying that, if he tried, like that's the important thing is that, he tried for Portland. And like so if he never wins a championship for Portland, I think he honestly, you know, would feel like he still had a legacy, not like all these guys who were like, unless I win a championship, I'm nothing. I think
Yeah,
he would feel like he did everything that he could.
totally. He was great. He got in the first round. He had the benefit of going last.
Hmm.
So like he knew exactly what he needed in the first round to advance to the second round. Um but in the third round it was Concaniple first, Dame and then Devin Booker last because Devin Booker had the highest score in the first round. So he actually didn't know like after his round if he'd won or not. Um,
Oh, okay.
so he like I mean he got a really good score. He beat Khan and I think he was happy with himself, but like you didn't really get to see how pleased he was until like the end. And I will say this, Devin Booker had a shot. He just couldn't hit anything at the end. They were like, okay, well, he needs this one to tie, this one to tie, this one to tie.
Just
Couldn't tie, couldn't do it.
not happening.
No.
I love that. I love that for our guy. Love it. Love it for him. We
Yeah.
got a question from Jesse, the tortured florist department at Paint and PDX about the All-Star weekend. Should we go ahead and jump to that?
Yeah, let's do it.
What would you do to rekindle interest in All-Star weekend? Change the game format again? Add an incentive to the winners? Add, remove, or modify an event? And then actually our friend Jason, who also has a question, his suggestion was kill the dunk contest unless the stars are going to participate. Shouldn't have to look up basketball reference to find out who these guys are. So what do you think about ideas for rekindling interest in the All-Star weekend?
I have a lot of thoughts because I'm like one of those people that like dreams up events that I think that I would like to see, even though it might be like honestly be a train wreck, but like maybe in a good way. I want, instead of the celebrity all-star game, do you know what I want? I want a Freaky Friday game. A Freaky Friday game where the sports media talking heads play the game, the NBA players referee the game,
And the
and
referees do
the
commentary?
and the referees do commentary. Everybody gets to try on everybody else's job and see how hard it is.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh my
Because
God,
Bill
the
Kennedy, come
players
on.
refereeing, that sounds like an absolute disaster.
I know, but it's like it's so easy to be mad at at referees, as your
Yes.
player. Like we see like players get really hot. It would be nice to give them a chance to try it on and see what it's like to call a game in real time. And also, like I think that there's something that's really like for me therapeutic about seeing these guys that maybe say a bunch of awful things about players all the time on television and seeing
Hmm.
how not ballers they are.
Yeah. Well, Shams played, right? Or he's gonna wait.
Yeah. In the
Yes, that
celebrity
game
game.
already happened.
Yeah. He was not good. He checked his phone a bunch.
Was that a bit? Do you
I don't
think?
know. Who knows?
I
Maybe.
did see somebody say that Chris Paul should have retired while Shams was in the celebrity game, and I wonder how the timing works because that's funny. Um, I have one thing that I've said for several years about the All-Star weekend is that they should have an athletic rebounding competition. They should replace the dunk competition with an athletic rebounding competition. So I'll float that up, but I really think that the only thing that can save it is just cancel it. It's a absence makes the heart grow fonder. Cancel it. And maybe in a decade we'll be like, remember when they used to have All-Star Weekend and they had like events and stuff? Maybe we should do that again. They need to get like I don't know why they do All-Star. I know exactly why they do All-Star Weekend, but it is not to benefit. It is not of benefit to the players. Just let them take a break. It's like the best players. We're gonna make them play more. We're gonna make them do more stuff. We're gonna make them get less rest. It makes me nuts. So I think they should just cancel it, and in about a decade, like revisit it and maybe start it up again. But I haven't watched any All-Star stuff in years because I just find it so infuriating that the players, especially the best players, don't get to get the full rest. Just give them the week off. Just give them the week off.
I wish that there was more of like a local flavor to every All-Star. One of the things that I was thinking as I was watching this like the events this year was like they had Ludacris perform and there was like okay, one, it's Ludacris
Where's he
who
from?
Atlanta and he performed in an Atlanta Hawks jersey. He has to like censor 20% of the lyrics that he's going to sing because like Ludacris is not like family time. Okay. He's there in LA in an Atlanta Hawks jersey. And I was like, what if we had us better like local flavor for every All-Star game? And then what city you hosted it in, like it like might actually matter. Um, and like, we had all these like I was thinking like we had all these celebrity coaches of different rising stars, shooting stars, whatever the event's called. And I'm like, what if they were like stars of that franchise of the past instead? What if that was Buck Williams out there? And what if that was, like uh I don't know, like
You mean Clippers players?
yeah, but like,
Chris
yeah,
Paul,
right.
Blake Griffin.
Right, but like if
I'm
it
sure
was
they'd
insane.
love to come back and help the Clippers.
But if it were like Portland, we would instead of seeing like, Austin Rivers in your city, you'd be like, I don't care about Austin Rivers. You
Yeah.
make it about like the franchise that's the host,
Hmm.
right? And because then local fans would be really excited to see those folks. And you also get to highlight some of the great players across the league and from all these different franchises throughout history. And people are reminded, oh yeah, I love them. Instead of like, I mean, no shade to like Melo and Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter, but we see them all the time. Go make that franchise that's hosting, go out there and find people that they want to highlight, successes that they want to show, and also the local fans can be happy about it. And this is actually where my other like feeling about the dunk contest is I think that the dunk contest should be just the host team. Everybody
Oh,
on the host team. They
interesting.
all dunk for their own fans. And
Hmm.
it's like for more like it's more about like for like bragging rights.
Hmm.
But like the local fans when will love seeing their own team in a dunk competition, seeing what they can throw down because we often hear about like the types of dunks that Ant would throw down in practice, but we never saw them. He didn't pull those out for regular games, but we'd love to see the kinds of trick dunks that our own team can do. And so like I don't know, maybe you think about a way to make it more local and like specific to the franchise. And also, like, then you get to highlight a bunch of players who aren't just like the same dudes we see on TV every week.
Hmm. Yeah. I'll have to revisit it because I don't remember the whole story off the top of my head. But the original dunk contest took place like over the course of a season
Hmm.
and then had a finals, which I believe came down to here in Portland. But it was separate from like the All-Star weekend, and it was like individual head to head competitions. So yeah, I I just want the players to have the week off. That's the most important thing to me. And also, well my stance about Shaden not being in the dunk contest. I did not watch the dunk contest. How do you think it would have reflected on Shaden had he participated in the dunk contest?
I mean, the dunk contest was not good. And I will say this though, there was one guy there, I think his name is Carter Bryant from the Spurs. He really wanted to win. And one of the things that like kind of stuck with me about like the other guy who won, he was from the Heat, what fine, whatever. He was like there to do like the kind of shtick that we always see where he's like, here's me dancing, here's me jumping over E40, like whatever with props. But the other kid, Carter Bryant, I was like, you really want to win because he's from LA.
Mm,
He wanted to win
home crowd.
yes, in front of his home crowd. And the thing that like so I was really rooting for him. He didn't win. But the thing that like I realized about watching him and then watching Dame, I was like, when guys really want to win, care about winning, the event's better.
Hmm. Okay.
They're not just putting on a show. Like the other guy that won, the Heat guy, he was putting on a show. These were guys who wanted to win, and those like I will take guys who want to win over anything.
So another thing that makes me think that they should pause the All-Star weekend for a while is all we hear about is how competitive these guys are. How these guys could have not have made it to the NBA if they weren't so competitive. And then you have this weekend where like a few of them might take it seriously and be competitive, but the rest of them are just like, like you should look at the event if that's what's happening for these guys who have been so competitive all of their life, who can't take the competition or who won't take the competition of this seriously because they would rather be resting. Like, look at it. Like, ask yourself, is this what's best for the players? If even these guys who are just driven by competition are like, I don't care for the most part. with a few exceptions.
Yeah, I mean it's like more than anything for these guys, it's an opportunity to like build brand or whatever. And some of these guys are like LeBron doesn't want to do the dunk competition because LeBron is like, I don't have any more brand to build. You know, so like um it has to be more enticing to them to want to win. And some of these, like I'll say, like Donovan, when he played in the Rising Stars game, he looked like a dude who wanted to win because Donovan likes winning.
Hmm.
But like some of these guys don't, if they don't have anything to play for, they
Hmm.
don't care as much about winning because it's just for show. I
Hmm.
was thinking about it. I was like, I wonder if they like went back to the East-West format and like the winner of the All-Star game determined who got home court
Home court.
advantage in the
Yeah.
championship, whether
Like if
these
it meant
guys would,
something.
yeah, if they would play hard for it. Because you don't know who's going to be there, but like you want it to be your conference
Hmm.
who has
Yeah.
home court.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Like, make it count for something.
Mm. We did our best, Jesse, to come up with ideas.
Yeah, that's right. But I do think that in like my heart of hearts that we are missing out if we are not making better use of Bill Kennedy at All-Star and other referees to shine
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
Bill's a star.
You were not going to see him for a while, and he could have been like Dame. He probably could have participated in some way, shape, or form, even if he's rehabbing his knee.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot he's injured.
Hmm.
Ugh, wait, he's not on the injury report. What is the NBA doing?
Hey, so anything else you want to say about All-Star Weekend?
No, just that you know, at 2 o'clock today, it's Sunday the 15th. Denny is going to be playing in for Team World. So he's like kind of our last guy. The reason why I spent so much time watching the All-Star this week this time was because I was like, we have four guys there. When's the last time we've had four players to
That's
follow at All-Star?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I'm really excited for that, and I'll probably at least check out some of the stuff today, even though I have some other stuff to do. But you know, I'm really proud of Denny. It's his first one, and I know that he'll take it seriously just because he's really excited to be there for his first. Yeah.
Okay, well, last week we introduced our Blazer Cutie tiers, or former Blazer tiers, mostly filled with Blazer Cuties, but not all. And we had some great comments. People shared their own tier system, their own ranking system. Love it. Please keep them coming. And we had a few more that we left off of our own list that we were like, ooh, I want to rate a couple more. So just for fun, we're gonna rate just a couple more. And try not to take too much time on it, but I just think this is a really fun exercise.
Yeah, and we also got some feedback from one of our listeners, Keanu Reef Books, that they enjoy us covering some of these former Blazer cuties because they weren't always watching the Blazers prior to, you know, a certain year. And it's a nice way to catch up on Blazer lore by us ranking Blazer cuties. So maybe we'll do this from time to time.
Yeah, and if we bring up somebody and we don't cover the lore, but you remember something and want to share it with us, we love doing that. Love having a chance to go back down memory lane for some of these guys. So with that, we ended last week, both of us going, "Oh no, we didn't do LaMarcus Aldridge." Oh, should we share the screen so we can get that up there?
Yeah, I can probably share. Hang on.
I think I might have to make you a. Do I have to make you a host?
I don't think so. No, you don't have to. I have the same one that we had last time. Um, so we can just keep working on
Okay.
the
So
rankings that we had last
the
time.
when we ended, for some reason, oh, there it is. When we ended, both of us were like, "Oh no, we didn't do LaMarcus Aldridge." So I suggest that we start with LaMarcus Aldridge. To me, even though, okay, hear me out, even though I good-heartedly booed him in his first game back, it was good heart. It was a like, "Hey, how dare you do that to us, but I still love you anyway." He as an I will always love you to me because LaMarcus Aldridge, I was always so impressed by the fact that when Brandon Roy's knees gave out and Greg Oden's, all his health issues were happening, LaMarcus Aldridge, who was never meant to be the guy who was going to be the center and the guy on the team. He was left holding the bag and he did it the best that he could with what he had. And I always admired that because I know it was hard for him to step into that role. It just seemed like it was really hard for him, but he did it anyway. So I will always love him for that.
Yeah, I think that's great. Also, like for a long time, LaMarcus Aldridge was like the center of our universe until Damian Lillard came along and like succeeded him. But like, he was our all-star. He like when and I think that the reason why people were upset when he left is because how much they loved him in the first place.
Hmm.
It was like really sad to it was really sad to watch him go because
Yeah.
we all could look at like what Damien was going to be at, we got like a glimpse, but we never got to see it like come to fruition because Dame was still developing at that time. And we never got to see him and LaMarcus both play together in their prime, which I think people were really excited to see.
Hmm.
So yeah, I love that. Um, I want to rank Evan Turner.
Oh,
We didn't rank
okay.
Evan Turner. Um, Evan Turner is interesting because I think that maybe more than any former Blazer, how we feel about him as a fan base is like more uncoupled from what he did from like playing actual basketball than like anyone. Like I think we as a fan base we really love him. He was really funny. He's come back and he's like been on the broadcast with filling in for guys. But like if you were just rating him as a basketball player, I don't know where he would rank if you were just asked to rank him as a former Blazer basketball player. But as a personality, as a whole person, which I celebrate here, um, I'll say Evan Turner is probably I will remember you. But, I can see why some people are going to say I will always love you because that personality part is so strong with him.
Mhm.
What do you think?
I totally agree. Like, yes, I could totally see why some people would want to put him into I Will Always Love You, and I can also see why some people were not thrilled with his presence here because of the money thing, which for some people is more important than it happens to be for us. But I'm very comfortable. I feel very comfortable with I Will Remember You because remember that's just under, like just barely under I Will Always Love You. And just for a reminder, number one tier is the I Will Always Love You tier. After that is the Sarah McLachlan I Will Remember You tier. After that, Ariana Grande Thank You Next, followed by I can never remember who did the song, but it's somebody that I used to know is the second to the bottom tier, and then the bottom tier is Taylor Swift's Bad Blood. So Evan Turner, you're up there, and I Will Remember You, just barely under I Will Always Love You.
Yeah, I think that feels like a fair ranking for Evan Turner, and I know that like for him the spectrum might be wide because again that basketball piece and the personality piece are so like different.
And I'll have to say, I loved people's comments on our tiers and on other people's tiers. And it's so fun to see how we all view things differently and we have different things that we watch for. And sometimes it really shows in their tiers, especially with you and I having, Rodney Hood and Al Farouk Aminu in the I Will Always Love You tier.
Yes, that's right.
So here's another weird one that I want to rank, that people might be like, why are you ranking him? And why did you, anyway. And I want to rank Andrew Nicholson. Um, Never played a game, never suited up for the Blazers. No, he did not. But I think that we covered that the when the Blazers traded for his contract and were able to then waive and stretch him, it was both a good thing for the Blazers because at the time they needed to reduce their salaries. And Andrew Nicholson went on to have this continues to have a fantastic overseas career where he seems to be thriving. He seems like just a really great guy. So, and then as you know, we famously called the Andrew Nicholson era was all those 7 years where the Blazers had his part of his contract on their books. I think Andrew Nicholson, because of his service, I think he's a thank you next. What do you think?
Sure, that sounds great. I'll say not playing a single minute for the Blazers does not mean that we're not going to rank you. We have already ranked Festus Ezeli.
Yes.
So I think it's fine to rank Andrew Nicholson here. I also think that, sometimes the way you contribute to the team is by not playing.
Hmm.
And for Andrew Nicholson, he contributed to a whole era of Blazers basketball, not playing, but his contract technically still being charged to the payroll.
Silent contributor.
That's right. All right, Andrew Nicholson. Thank you. Next. Um, okay, so I was gonna pick somebody, but I actually just thought of somebody that I was talking about on Blue Sky the other day, and I need to rank him because I need to explain myself.
Okay.
Joe Ingles. Speaking of people who've never
Oh.
played for the Blazers.
Okay, great.
Joe Ingles. I first started by seeing Joe Ingles in that it was against the Wolves. Um, I first started by seeing Joe Ingles. I was like, he's somebody that I used to know. But then I was thinking about it a little more, and I was like, okay, but I also remember how he took Matisse's last spot on that Team Australia basketball team. And I'll say, for me, Joe Ingles, I've got bad blood with Joe Ingles.
Oh, okay.
Joe Ingles is out here taking the spot of a younger Blazer cutie that off Team Australia that I think probably needed him because they like crashed out in the quarterfinals that year after medaling the prior Olympics with Matisse. And I was like, no, I have bad blood with Joe Ingles. So I'm putting Joe Ingles in bad blood. And this is my like weird, like
Yeah.
personal bad blood thing that
Hmm.
like I don't expect anybody else to feel this strongly about Joe Ingles. But as soon as I see his face, I always remember how he took Matisse's spot. And I'm like, Joe Ingles, why are you still bouncing around the league? Why are you still here? Why am I looking at you? I don't want to look at Joe Ingles anymore. Bad blood.
I because you have so much passion, I'm not going to argue. I think for me, he would have been somebody that I used to know. And again, that's why these rankings are so fun, is because people might see him and be like, how dare you put so and so there? But you got to listen to the reasoning, because sometimes I look at somebody else and go, how dare you put so and so there? But I'm like, okay, got to give them the same what I ask people to give me. I got to hear the reason behind it. So if that's where you want to put him, you go right ahead.
Oh my God, he's not even in here. I'll have
No,
to put him in later. It's like I hated him so much when I saw his face when
you
I
were
was
like,
looking through him. I was
no.
like, pass. I'm not even putting you in here.
You're like, no.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll put him
Okay,
in
we'll have to
later
go
though.
back and add Joe Ingles so that just so that we can put him in the bad blood tier.
That's right.
Boy. Okay, the last person I want to talk about is Gerald Wallace.
Oh, that's a
When
deep
I
cut.
saw that you had pulled his picture, I was like, yes, Gerald Wallace. Um, when the years that he played are a little fuzzy to me, but I do remember that I remember him as a rebounder, and I remember him as being pretty fun to watch and being quite energetic. And when you and I went and looked at like his basketball reference page, we
Mhm.
were shocked to see that when Gerald Wallace was in Portland, he actually took three pointers, which neither of us could recall. He with the Blazers when he came in what 2010, he was taking three and a half attempts per game, and he was hitting 33% of them. I was like, I do not remember that at all, but maybe it's just we had selective memory. And then he continued to try to take 3 points the next year, and it didn't go as well. He dropped it to about 26%, but then he kind of fluctuated back and forth. He's a career 31% three 3-point shooter. But anyway, that's not what I remember. He had long hair, braids. He was just like he was a big presence on the court. And most importantly, as you reminded me, he was the person that we traded to get the pick, which later became our very own Damian Lillard, our guy.
That's right.
And so, I mean, if that is not significant, I think it's definitely a thank you next. I don't think that pushes him up into I will remember you territory, but maybe it does. What do you think?
I think either would be fine. I'll say like the one of the only reasons why I get have opportunities to remember Gerald Wallace, long after he's been here, his time in Portland has passed, is because people always bring him up when they talk about what brought Damian Lillard here. And in that way, he has contributed significantly to
Yeah.
our like franchise. So I think either I would accept either. I would be very happy for either, but either way, I think it's important to acknowledge that his contribution brought us Damian Lillard.
Um, yeah. And also the I will remember you column, I actually don't remember him very often. So I feel like I think he belongs in thank you next, with an asterisk that yes, he brought us Damian Lillard, but also like Damian Lillard became who he was because he's Damian Lillard. So like,
Right.
you know, but yeah, I just wanted to get him on there. And yeah, so I put him in the thank you next column. And if anybody wants to argue that, I would love to, hear what you have to say.
That's great. I love that. I love the opportunity to remember Gerald Wallace. Um, the last person that I would like to rank today is Channing Frye. So Channing Frye, I don't really even really remember, if I'm being totally honest, I don't remember his contributions here when he was playing basketball. There's a lot of other reasons to remember him. Like, I think his wife is from Portland. I think he started his family here. He's been a part of like the Portland community for longer than he's been a player here. He obviously went on to play for other teams after. Um, but I do think that there's something special about some of the guys who are local, who stick around, either because their families are from here or because they make it their home. And um, for me, I have like an autobiographical reason for why I really like Channing Frye. And it is because Channing Frye is the reason why I felt ready to have a baby, which is like, that sounds so crazy. So I'll have to explain it.
Because you're like, if Channing Frye can do it, I can. Or
So Tyler and I used to live in on the like in inner southeast. We used to live in Selwood, and our favorite brunch spot was in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn neighborhood. It was right across the street from the Aladdin. It was called Sanborn's. Rest in peace, Sanborn's. It did not survive the pandemic. Um, but we would go there like I don't know, almost every weekend. It seemed like. One day I walked into Sanborn's, and sitting at the very front of the house was Channing Frye and his wife and their baby. I didn't see him at first, if I'm being totally honest. I didn't see him. I didn't see his wife. But I did see his baby because his baby cute bombed me so hard. He has to this day, I can't even really remember what his baby looked like, except for that baby was so cute and so smiley and so cute bomby. I would like, it was like a light turned on and I was like, oh my God, I want one. And
your
then I
ovaries
looked
just went
up.
ching.
And then I looked up and I realized, like, oh, that's Channing Frye. Oh, there's his wife. Oh my gosh. You guys made this cute baby? This baby is so cute.
And you thought maybe I could do the same thing.
Yes. So, like, it was like the first time that I had actually thought to myself, I was like, oh my God, I want a baby. Because Channing Frye's baby was so adorable. So like, cut 2 years later, now I have a child. But
Uh,
like, I don't know, like, would that have turned on for any other reason? Maybe, probably, I don't know. But I know that for me, Channing Frye's baby made me realize I maybe wanted a baby. So for me, Channing Frye is someone that I remember very fondly because I wouldn't have my daughter if that light hadn't have turned on. So I will say for me, Channing Frye is I will remember you, which is wild because I don't know if anyone else would put him there, but for me, autobiographically, it matters.
well, I mean, I can't say no to that story. But you'll get to do the explaining when we show it to
Yeah.
everybody.
And people are like, Channing Frye, I will remember you. What?
What?
The same as Mason Plumley? Yeah, the same as Mason Plumley.
Actually, that feels about right.
So anyway, I don't even really remember his time here as a player. Like I kind of do, but like not really. So many of the things that I remember about Channing Frye is like after he was a player here. Like, he because he's still a part of our community.
Hmm.
And he's still kicking around on TV, I think maybe, is
Yeah,
he?
he's still doing road tripping.
Yeah.
And he's
So
yeah, I mean that's a podcast, but yeah, he's still on one of those channels. I mean, Lord knows where you're going to find it. There's
yeah.
like, 9 different streamers that do 10 a slice of the NBA. Okay, well that is excellent. That was really fun. If folks have people that they want to know how we would rank them, let us know. And keep ranking them and sharing what you get because it's really fun to look at them. We should wrap it up here, but we do have one more question, and that came from Jason. And I'll just say it relates to my take. So I'm gonna just kind of go into like my take from Jason's question.
Sure.
And Jason's question is, with the arena stuff in the news lately, what's your level of worry about a deal not getting done and or fear of the team relocating? Um, and I would say that I am one of those people who will never not worry about it. All logic, all, whatever the league says, whatever Adam Silver is saying, whatever the leaders of our community are saying, all of that stuff, it doesn't matter. My feelings is what we were talking about here. There's always a little bit of me that goes, it could happen. It could happen. So I don't think it's likely. I'm just saying that there's a chance. Not that I want to see it. So my level to answer Jason's question, my level is not high, but I am not saying it's non-existent. And then to
Mhm.
move into my take, I would just like for folks who are having this debate out in the world to respect my feelings on this because I feel like people who are anxious about it because we know it's happened before. We know it's not likely to happen again, but there's nothing that says it absolutely can't. And if that manifests as a little anxiety in the back of our brain about it, like stop yelling at me about it. I feel like that I'm just gonna acknowledge that it's possible that the team can move. I don't think it's likely, but I will never feel like that there's a 0% chance. And I would like to just be left to my feelings to have about that and not be having a bunch of people like tell me all of the reasons why I'm wrong about that. Like I know I'm wrong. I know it's not logical. It's just my feelings. So I would just like to ask people to let me have my feelings and not try to convince me of something that is just a feeling, not a logical thing. That's my take.
I think that's a perfectly reasonable take. Um, so to answer Jason's question, I'll say for me, I don't have a high level of worry. I also know that you know, there's like right now everyone's talking about it because there's a short session in the legislature, and one of the plans is for them to ask for money from the legislature. I also know how many legislative sessions there's going to be between now and when the deal expires with the current team. Um, so my level of worry is not that high. Like it's 2026. Like I think that they're leased through the 2030. Like there will be opportunities. So my level of worry is not particularly high. That said, to your point, I don't really want to see people arguing about this because I think that you're exactly correct that this is about feelings. I don't think that anyone's going to change anybody's mind because people aren't using their minds on this because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who's right. Like, this is not about our minds and our logic, it's about our feelings. And in that point, I'm like, how on earth am I going to sit around and like argue with somebody to change their feelings? Like, that's not, there's no like logical framework that like dictates how we feel. Well, how many of us feel. Some might. Um, but like in my experience, feelings don't follow rules. Um, so in that way, I'm like, I just want to not see people fight about it. I just like I don't want to hear you arguing about it. I don't want to see you fighting about it really. I don't think that anyone is right or anybody is wrong. And I know that everybody's got their own stuff wrapped up in it, but I don't want to see you fight about it because we're not going to know until we know. Um,
Yeah.
so like I guess that's where I come from on this. I like you, I never want to know what it's like to not have the Portland Trailblazers. But I'm also like just
It's just nothing in this life is given.
no, and if even in like the future when we know like we say we find out that like we're gonna get the arena upgrades and the team's gonna stay and whatever, like it doesn't mean forever. Nothing is forever. Everything is impermanent. Like
Mhm.
we just can only write it out year after year and day after day as we have been.
And it's also, we all know, as every time we talk about this, we know that we're just doing what they want us to do, which is talk about it. Like the Oregonian columnist who keeps writing about it and writing all these incendiary statements. And it's not like they're just like he's saying things to just get people riled up so that they'll have the conversation, so it'll be in the air, so that as people are arguing for their side and what they want, it'll be on everybody's minds. And it's just so tiresome, and we're just buying into it. So I'm going to stop buying into it. That's all I'm going to say about it. Thank you for your question, Jason.
Um, can I share with you my take today?
Yes.
So we heard your take. I appreciate your take very much. My take is like looking forward to when real NBA basketball is going again. I am ready for Scoot to start.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready for Scoot to start. Like I was a little like, I was willing to be patient and like see like him get comfortable and the offense. We had no idea what he was going to be like. We had no idea what how his health would hold up, whether he would need to like kind of ease back into it. But he's looked really comfortable and he's looked really like familiar with the style of play, even though we haven't seen him playing it for very long. Like I'm ready. I'm ready to see Scoot start because I want to know if this can really be his team. We haven't really seen him play a ton with Deni because Deni's been injured. Like, I think that a big step for us would to see about like what this young core looks like, and for me, that comes with Scoot being able to start.
I am not going to argue against that. I mean, also considering just how little we've seen him this year, like give him as many minutes as you can give him wherever you can give him so that we can see what it looks like and what the development looks like. And if he's alongside Drew Holiday, that's great. If he's, not alongside Drew, if he's alongside Shaden, every minute that if we could play Scoot 48 minutes a game for the rest of the season, I would be pretty happy with that, except for the rest part. But you know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
need as much Scoot as we can possibly get to see. And I think to what you were talking about, that he looks comfortable. Yeah, I don't like first of all, like it doesn't matter what happens the rest of the season. It really doesn't. I don't think personally to me. Um, but also like yeah, let him learn on the fly. Let him show us what he's got. Let him get even better. And he's got Damian Lillard and Drew Holiday sitting right there. Let him pick their brain. Let him soak everything in that they have to tell him about how he's doing out on the court and get him out on the court as much as he possibly can.
Yeah, agree. This is I'm so excited that we're finally at this point because it's like we've been talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks. We can't wait for Scoot to play. We can't wait for Scoot to play. Scoot's playing. He looks really good. Like for someone who's coming back from like a serious injury that we were being cautious around, he looks really good. And I just want to see so much more of that because he's been injured so much during his time here. Like,
Mhm.
and if this is really the team, this is really what we're going for, like just let Scoot cook.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm kind of the same way about just thinking about Denny and Damian playing together. I mean, Denny, Damian, and Scoot. It's- There's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, that's right. I can't wait to see what Denny's game looks like when he shrinks the floor for three-point shooters.
Hmm. I mean, when we're playing against teams who have to decide what to do about Denny and Damien, either one of them is going to take advantage, and
Hmm.
it's just a position we haven't been in a really long time.
It's so
Really long
exciting though,
time.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to even think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's very exciting. So your take is that Scoot should go ahead and start. You're ready for Scoot to start? I love it.
I'm ready.
That
Because I
sounds
know they
good.
were waiting for me. I know the Blazers have been listening to this podcast and waiting for me to say it.
Right.
So I just need to say it for all you fellas out there. Like, I'm ready for Scoot to start, so don't hold back on my account.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you were explicit about it, so that they know that they can go ahead and do it. Well, this has been awesome. This has been really fun. We have actual basketball returning when Friday, so it'll be a while. So we might not have a lot to talk about next weekend, because everybody's on vacation. So hopefully we'll get some pictures of beautiful beaches and toes in the sand and guys just relaxing and getting the well-deserved rest to finish out the rest of the season. Bros,
Oh,
thank you so much. Oh, go ahead.
one thing I just want to shout out and say congratulations to Caleb Love for being inducted into the Arizona men's basketball Ring of Honor, which happened this weekend. We're very proud of you, Caleb. And still crossing my fingers and hoping that they work out a way to get Caleb a full NBA contract this year.
Yes, and CD. And I
Yes.
was so happy to see that Caleb was able to do this over All-Star break because it was a little annoying that he didn't, get a rising star nod, having, doing so well, especially even compared to other rookies. So the fact that he was able to go get inducted into a very nice Ring of Honor, I thought I was glad for him. And you're right, Caleb and CD, we can't wait to find out what how the Blazers are going to do right by you, let's just say. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. You can find the We Have a Take podcast at We Have a Take on Blue Sky and Instagram and Threads. You can find us wherever you find your podcast. And we are also on YouTube. So look for us there. Thank you so much for joining us today and go Blazers.